I want to share with you four lenders that will give you up to a quarter of a million in business credit. And the cool thing is, startups are welcome. Okay, the cool thing is that those four lenders they have a pretty streamlined application process, and that's really good. So here's a review I want you to pay attention to. The first lender I want to share with you that can give you up to $250,000 in business credit. Here today, we're talking about BlueVine. You've heard it before. BlueVine is pretty flexible. We love that a lot. And what we love about BlueVine here is that, first of all, we love three things with BlueVine. Okay, people always ask us, why do you love BlueVine? Well, we love three things with BlueVine. Number one, the APR is kind of decent. So you are looking at 6.20% all the way to 15%. In some cases, 18%. This is really good. And you have loan amount. That's the first thing. The second thing we love here is that basically you have a pretty generous lender, so they can actually get you up to $250,000 in a business line of credit. In some cases, business loan. That's number two. Number three, basically they have a system whereby they can actually approve you even if you have a low credit. Okay, if you have a low credit score, they can still qualify you. Now the thing is that it's just better help if you have a relationship with BlueVine. BlueVine actually started as a fintech a couple of years ago. They were just giving loans and lines of credit, and right now they have actually a new service where they have an online business checking account. So it really helps if you're trying to really build your relationship with BlueVine. On the lending side, it's also great to actually have to actually build simultaneously a relationship with BlueVine on the checking side. Okay, so it's really great. And what we love about the BlueVine also is that they're pretty flexible in terms of the business credit you're getting through them. Now, mind you, the repayment terms are kind of low though. They're pretty. They want you to repay them within 6 to 12 months. And listen, it's really worth it. I mean, can you imagine like a lender who will qualify you even if you are a startup? This is kind of cool. So basically, when we talk about BlueVine, some of the pros that we love is that they are open to borrowers with fair credit. They have a high loan maximum. They have quick funding. They have few fees, and they actually offer you the option to pay monthly or weekly. Okay. Now, some of the cons we don't like is that they want you to have at least 10,000 to 40,000 in monthly revenue. Now there are ways to bypass that, but yeah, but that's what they want primarily, and they're not available for all industries in all states. Plus, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. The second lender I want to share with you is actually Wells Fargo. So when we talk about Wells Fargo, we are speaking about a lender who's very generous. And what Wells Fargo is a big bank, is a big national bank. This is really good. And the thing here is that if you are trying to get up to $250,000 in business credit, Wells Fargo is a great bank to actually consider. The cool thing is that if you have a relationship with Wells Fargo, they will actually will prioritize your application. And I encourage you, if you're listening to me right now and you are looking for business credit up to $250,000, no matter what, if you have poor credit, if you have no credit, if you are a startup, everything starts with having a relationship with Wells Fargo. Okay, you want to build that relationship first. You want to actually cultivate that relationship. You want to have a checking account with them, a business checking account. You want to have a business savings account. By the way, I hope you have your EIN though, because if you're speaking about business credit, you need to have an EIN. Okay, so because banks are going to ask you to provide your EIN, banks such as Wells Fargo are going to ask you. So be ready for that question. Okay, and the cool thing about Wells Fargo here is that they will approve you from 10,000 all the way to $150,000. But in some situations, in some cases, if you have the right relationship, if you have the right financial profile for your business, you can qualify for up to $250,000. We have seen cases where they even went all the way to $500,000. So Wells Fargo is a big national bank. They do have the balance sheet to fund those loans. That's not a problem for them. And what we love about Wells Fargo is that the APR is kind of decent too, though. You're looking at somewhere from 5% all the way to 12%. So this is really good. This is really it's really how do I say it? Very helpful for all kinds of borrowers. So that's really fantastic. And one thing I want to say also is that Wells Fargo has competitive rates all the time. There are rewards available. Okay, there are no early payoff fees. So this is kind of cool. And you have automatic enrollment in the rewards program. It's just fantastic. Now there are some annual fees, and in some cases, Wells Fargo wants you to be in business for a while before they can qualify. Also, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about four lenders that can give you up to $250,000 in business credit. If even if you have, if you are a startup, they can still qualify you. Another lender I want to share with you here is American Express. And the thing is that American Express is not just credit cards. I mean, a lot of folks think that American Express, they can only give you a credit card, but that's not true. As a matter of fact, they have a bank, and most importantly, they have a business line of credit. Okay, so years ago, 2 3 years ago, American Express wasn't doing that, but they actually bought over a company called Cabbage, so they rebranded it. So now it's American Express Business Line of Credit, and you can qualify for a business line of credit through American Express from 2,000 all the way to $250,000. So this is really good, and you have terms. The terms are kind of narrow though. They don't give you a longer term, but that's fine anyway. I mean, if you need business credit, if you grab whatever you can, right? So if you're looking for 6 months, if you're looking 12 months, if you're looking for 18 months, American Express can actually help you out. Not a problem, okay? And there are no monthly maintenance fees. We love that a lot. And on top of that, they will work with you to make sure that you get your line of credit real fast. And the cool thing is they don't ask for a large monthly revenue amount. If you have 3,000, American Express will work with you. This is really cool. One thing I want to say here is that it's really important to understand that American Express wants you to. It really helps if you have a relationship with them, and a relationship in terms of on the banking side, not when you have a business credit card. Okay, so if you are trying to get business credit up to $250,000, and even if you're a startup, American Express is a great candidate. Is a great lender to actually consider. And but just remember that they're not giving you a loan for like 5 years, whatever. No. They're actually capping everything at 18 months. Okay. And as a matter of fact, this is not a business loan. This is a business line of credit. So you're not getting a business loan. You get a business line of credit. But hey, listen, money is money, right? If you are trying to finance your business, you can get. I mean, you get everything that you can actually you can get your hands on. This is really cool. And but just remember that you want to actually contact American Express first of all over the phone to discuss everything, because they don't have a branch where you can just go and just sit with them, because even the bank that I'm just talking to you about, that bank is an online bank. So you do not have like a specific spot where you can just go to a an American Express branch and brick and mortar branch and have a conversation with anybody there. So it's one of those things you have to be aware of that. I mean, some people are comfortable with an online bank, some people are not. So it really depends on you. Another lender I want to share with you is Funbox. So when we talk about Funbox, here is a lender that can give you up to $250,000, but on average, they actually will cap you at $150,000 unless you are a repeat customer. If you're a repeat customer, not a problem, okay? And so here, in terms of credit score, they will actually will qualify if you have 550 all the way to 600. So this is totally cool. This is totally cool. We also love the fact that they're not asking for a lot of things. I mean, even the paperwork they're asking you, it's pretty streamlined. So this is really good. We also love the fact that with Funbox, they only ask in some cases 6 months in business. Okay, they're not asking you to have like 2 years or 3 years as what regular banks do. So 6 months is great. Even 3 months is great, but it has to be 3 to 6 months of active business life. I'm not telling you like you open your LLC and the LLC becomes dormant for 5 years and you don't do anything. No. We're talking about active business life. Like you actually placing orders, you receiving payments from customers, you paying vendors, and so on and so forth. We're talking about a normal business life. So they're gonna check that anyway. They're gonna make sure that you actually qualify on that front. One thing I want to say with Funbox is that we love the fact that with Funbox, you can get funded real fast, okay, and they will give you somewhere from 10,000 all the way to $150,000, and but they're not really they don't offer a longer repayment window. So they'll ask you like basically you have to repay them within 12 weeks or 24 weeks, not 12 months, 12 weeks. So 12 weeks, we're speaking about less than what? Less than 3 months. And 24 weeks, that's less than 6 months. So with the Funbox, you're really looking at a very short repayment window. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about like four lenders that can give you up to $250,000 in business credit, and those are pretty generous lenders, by the way. Let me give you a few pro tips here. So the thing here is that when we talk about getting business credit in general, and it's just a matter of you actually finding out what really works for you, because business credit can be anything. I mean, business credit is not just a business loan. It can be a business line of credit. It can be a net 30 account, right? So you really got, it can be equipment financing. It could be anything. As long as you establish a relationship whereby one vendor gives you a business, like really gives you business on a credit basis, then you are building business credit. But the thing is that you have to really make sure that the vendor is reporting your data to the three business credit bureaus. Because the whole thing is, if you say, I'm building business credit, I'm establishing business credit, but the vendors are not reporting your data to Equifax business, to Experian business, or Dun and Bradstreet, you can't really build business credit. Because what happens here is that when a new business relationship, let's say when a new business partner is checking your Dun and Bradstreet, they'll see no history or very few, like a very little history. And you don't want that. So you really want to make sure that whatever you're getting your business, like even your business credit card can help you actually build business credit. But the whole thing here is that it's a lot harder to have up to $250,000 in business credit card limits unless you have an existing relationship with the institution and you have the revenue to back up that kind of limit. Because if they're giving you $250,000 credit limits, you better have like the cash to actually repay whatever you charge on the card, right? So those are things you really need to think about. Now, one thing I also want to say here is that when we talk about a business credit or business line of credit or business loan or equipment financing or even a net 30 vendor, you have to look at the relationship. That's number one. You have to look at the transaction being reported. That's number two. And number three, you have to actually look at how scalable the relationship is. Because the whole thing is that when you start with a new vendor, and if they actually have a low credit limit for you, after 5 years, if they haven't raised your credit limit, that's not really good for you. That's not a good sort of partner here. So you have to start thinking about changing partners if that's the case. So those are things you really need to think about deep before you choose any business partner anyway. So when we talk about building business credit, there are a couple of things you need to really understand here. Credit score, your personal credit score matters a lot, right? I think I've already established that your personal credit score matters a lot, and so does your business credit score. So you have this sort of simultaneous sort of relationship here. You have a bi-directional sort of investigation. In other words, the lender is going to check, the lender or the net 30 vendor, the potential business partner is going to check both your personal credit reports and your business credit reports. So credit score really matters, whether you're getting a business line of credit, whether you're getting a business loan, or whether you're getting a net 30 account, whether you are applying for a net 30 account. So the constellation of options is really diverse here. One thing I want to see here is that when we talk about business credit, you can still qualify for business credit if you have a startup. But when you have a startup, things are a little I would say sensitive. Because the whole thing is, if you don't have if you're new, if you're a startup and you don't have an existing relationship with the lender, chances are it's going to be very tough. So one thing we actually advise our clients and our viewers to do is that if you are a startup and you're trying to get business credit and up to $250,000, it's just a lot better to start with a bank or a credit union where you currently have an account. Because if you go to a regular lender, because you don't have the relationship with them, the prior relationship with them, they're just going to look at you as a quote unquote risky borrower, okay? And so your chances of approving for being your chances of being approved for, let's say, a loan or business line of credit, or even a net 30 account, are kind of slim. So you first want to build a relationship with the vendor before you can parlay that relationship into something wonderful. Okay, and but there is there is a possibility for you to actually get a line of credit, a loan, or a net 30 account, or whatever you can imagine, even if you're a startup. It's all about making sure that, number one, the relationship that you are trying to really engage in is a potent relationship. It really fits your sector. And most importantly, as I said before, they have to report your data. Okay, if a lender, if a net 30 vendor doesn't report your data to credit bureaus, it's not going to help you in the long run. Even in the short run, it's not going to help you because I mean, you could do it yourself. You can self-report, but how far and how long can you self-report? The thing is, when we talk about getting up to $250,000 in business credit for your business, and even if you're a startup, you got to really choose the product that you want really carefully. Okay, because a business loan or a business line of credit or a net 30 account or equipment financing don't have the same impact on your business credit score or your personal credit score for that matter. And so, for example, if you have a business line of credit, the impact will be similar to a business credit card. But if you have a business loan or equipment financing, basically the impact will be more, I would say, sporadic. So it's one of those things where you have to see what really works for you. And or if you have any question, just let us know in the comment section, and or you can even email us directly, and one of our team members will certainly get back to you. Because the whole thing is you have to first analyze your cash inflows and cash outflows before you see the kind of business credit product that really fits your business's situation. Okay, because let me give you an example. If you have an excess of cash inflows over cash outflows, then you know you have enough cash anyway. So if that's the case, you do not want to apply for a business line of credit, because a business line of credit is really not going to help you that much. But if you are in a situation that I just said a few minutes ago, then the business loan can be really interesting, or a net 30 vendor account can be really interesting, especially if you are selling commodities and you need to actually store those products for a while. So, and you will need some kind of business credit to sort of like finance a larger pool, a larger inventory of products. So those are things you need to really think about big time. One final thing I want to say before I close to this conversation is that you need to really understand that every sector is different, right? If you're trying to if you're trying to get business credit for, let's say, a garage sort of sector, this is not the same thing as the cosmetic sector, or let's say like an entertainment sector. It really depends on a lot of things. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate today's conversation. I was just sharing with you 4 business lenders who can give you up to $250,000 in a streamlined application. So we have BlueVine, Wells Fargo, American Express, and Funbox. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.